Hi, and welcome to Face the Kingdom. I'm Left-Wing Libertarian.
I'm Beauty Girls Mom.
Our topics for today are the Disney Moms Panel, the Disney Parks Moms Panel,
Disney Parks Moms Panel,
a trip to Shades of Green, and school supplies, and to start off, the entertainment at Epcot. So what's going on with the entertainment at Epcot?
Well, it's kind of big news in the Disney community, but by the end of September, you will see some of the more popular Epcot World Showcase entertainment gone and replaced with brand new entertainment.
Do we know what's going to be replaced and who's replacing it?
We know that Off Kilter is going.
That's from Canada.
That's from Canada. Mo Rockin is going.
From Morocco?
From Morocco.
Got that
a
one.
leap on that one. The Fife and Drum Corps from the American Pavilion will also be gone. And the World Showcase Players, very popular comedic improvisational group in the UK, will also be gone.
The World Showcase Players, that's the people who do the skits with the rope around the British area and with like the medieval type shows.
Yes, yes, it will.
Well, I'm trying to think of what they're called.
Yes.
I mean,
they do the
Shakespearean kind of things.
Yes. It's not really Shakespeare. They do the Christmas Carol at Christmas time. They do different plays during the year. One of them is Romeo and Juliet. It's just little comedic improvisational skits. It's very popular. Your children have been selected from the audience a couple times over the years.
Yes, I'm just trying to remember what they did. It seemed to me to be more of a like medieval kind of things that just like a Renaissance fair type stuff. It stands the test of time, like it's always entertaining.
Always entertaining. Yes. And I think that's part of why people are so up in arms. If you are a casual vacationer, you go to Disney once in a while, once every couple years.
Now, how many times have you been through the Disney turnstiles?
I have been a few
Okay,
times.
More than 1,000.
I don't know if I should admit how many times I have been.
Last time we counted,
before that rug gets pulled out from under me.
Last time we counted, you had been through the Disney turnstiles at least 2,000 times.
That's a good number.
Yes.
That's a good estimate. Yes.
And in that is not included days that we worked at Disney. That's entertainment days to the turnstiles.
Entertainment days to the turnstiles. Yes.
So if you're a cast member going through the turnstile every day, that doesn't count for this tally.
Doesn't count. Yeah.
Okay. What about the trash can guys?
They're safe. They're still there.
Now, are any of these people who also perform at Rope Drop, or are these people who only perform in their specific event?
They perform at their specific pavilions in the World Showcase, and part of the appeal is, first of all, they're very entertaining. Guys in kilts, that's very entertaining. Mo Rockin is very contemporary with a Middle Eastern flair. That's always been a fan favorite at Epcot.
Well, the guys in kilts are more like rock music type stuff.
Rock music, yeah. But again, part of the problem here is, and the rumor is they're going to be replaced by a Scottish Celtic music band. In Canada they'll be replaced by a lumberjack show. But there will still be some kind of a Celtic musical entertainment thing.
So we get to use chainsaws now at Epcot?
I don't think they'll let you use the chainsaw.
Okay. Because that's
Especially
my favorite.
when you flip that blind card up there, that's probably going to be a red flag for the audience participation on your part.
Okay.
But I think, again, if you're the casual vacationer at Disney, even if this is your first time or you don't go that often, it's a once-in-a-lifetime big trip, you don't go specifically for the entertainment at Epcot. But those of us that have annual passes or that visit more frequently, we enjoy those things. We don't necessarily do the kamikaze, get in, do every ride, do every attraction kind of thing. We like to, from when our kids were little, that was our Saturday afternoon in the park. We would put the kids in a stroller, walk around the World Showcase with the breeze blowing over us. We would enjoy that kind of entertainment.
Well, something that Epcot has, it's not all the time at every place, but like KidCot. KidCot has gone from events where they've done the masks or they've done other things with little tags on them. Do an art project. There's Kim Possible, which before Kim Possible it was...
Kim Possible is gone.
Is it gone?
Agent P.
Oh, that's right, Agent P. That's right.
Yes.
So it was Kim Possible, now it's Phineas and Ferb.
H&P.
Yeah, Agent P
Yes.
from Face and Fur. But those are activities that are part of wanting you to make the complete loop all the way around the World Showcase.
Yeah, and I think, with the Kim Possible, now Agent P thing, that's something, and the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. I mean, there are things that encourage the more frequent visitor to discover and enjoy. But then they turn around with this entertainment news and they kind of pull that away from you. Those of us that go more frequently, even if you don't go every week, even if it's a once a year thing, you don't necessarily want to race to get on Maelstrom or stand in line for Test Track. You might rather take a nice leisurely walk around the World Showcase and enjoy some of the musical performers or the acrobats. This is some of the entertainment that you are going to enjoy.
Well, Living with the Land is a great ride. Living with the Land, that's what it's called. The boat ride in the land.
Yes.
Yeah. You're shocked that I knew the name of the ride?
Dumbfounded. Speechless.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
But, I mean, that's a fun ride. For somebody who's looking for a high-speed, thrilling roller coaster, they're not going to get that there. But it's entertaining. It's somewhat edutainment. Was that edutainment?
Edutainment. And it's something that we've always enjoyed. Our family has always enjoyed.
It changes year-round. I mean, what's in there growing all the time is different.
Well, it's Florida. It pretty much stays consistent. Cinderella Pumpkin, the 9-pound lemon, all of that stuff is always there.
Something that looks like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It changes. There's,
But again, the point is, for those of us that are frequent visitors, we really enjoy this type of entertainment. So it's difficult now to see Disney kind of ignore that line between...
So you've been there enough. So if I happen to have right here a list of all the fruits and produce that grow there, you could tell me true or false whether they're there?
I could come pretty close. But again, the point is, there's a fine line in keeping the guests that you have that are consistent, that are steady, that come back year after year or event to event. Because there are people that will go, to the race in January. They go for the Food and Wine Festival, Not So Scary Halloween, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, the Flower and Garden Show. They want to do all of those events throughout the year, and this is the kind of entertainment they enjoy.
Yeah, but you're also describing them as 80-year-old old people who show up every day because they live around the corner and Disney is their
I don't think you have to be 80-year-old old people. I mean, I have friends that will sit at Off Kilter. They make it a point to build Off Kilter into their visit to Epcot. Whether they go, once a year or whether they're fortunate enough to go twice that year. They build Off Kilter in.
I do not know if Off Kilter's mom will watch this. I don't want to say that that's kind of weird, but I think it's interesting that somebody would go to Epcot for the entertainment. And that's something that I've told people before. If you have really small children, go do a couple of days rides, see the few things that you want to, but instead of bumper to bumper with, strollers and hour-long lines at the Magic Kingdom, go to Epcot. It's fun and relaxing. For people who go to Disney, I mean, we went there on our honeymoon. Oh, you're going to hit me again, sorry. Because it's 5 times you've hit me so far.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know if we move the chairs further away. But, it's a fun place to walk around. You mentioned the Food and Wine Festival. There are things that you can do at the Food and Wine Festival with a family. You walk around, your kids do activities, they go on the rides, they do stuff, you get a sample of things. I mean, the entertainment I think has a lot of aspects to it. But there are other pieces of entertainment in there that I think get, it could be that the actors and performers are just tired. Maybe their contract's up for renew and they're waiting to go do something else.
That could be. I mean, I don't know what part the entertainers themselves played in making this decision. I believe, personally, probably not as much as Disney had to do with this decision, but I'm excited to see what's new, what's coming. I remain optimistic that it will be just as enjoyable.
If we had a list right now of every night show at the lake at Epcot since Epcot opened in what year?
Many years ago.
Many years ago. Okay.
Yes.
Feel free to add that to the comments section if you know what year Epcot opened. But do you know what day it opened?
One that ends in Y.
Okay. It opened up on a very special day. It opened up on my unbirthday.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay, now you know.
Yes.
The point.
I am not a trivia person.
Okay.
You're lucky I remember your birthday, let alone Epcot's birthday.
Well, you didn't know my name on our first date.
This is true.
Okay.
So how can I be expected to remember?
But the World Showcase show at night has gone through revisions through the years.
Absolutely. Illumination has changed. It has changed seasonally. And change is not necessarily a bad thing. Change is a good thing. But as we've discussed, I personally like some of the classic things. I like knowing that if I go to Disney next week, I'm going to see the same thing that I saw when I went with my parents, in 1976. I like thinking, when I have my grandchildren, that I'll be able to take them to see some of these things that I've enjoyed with my children.
No pressure on the girl behind the camera.
No pressure on any of my daughters, Bridget, to get on that stick. But yeah, it's just something that you love these things. It's one of the reasons that you enjoy going back again and again and again. It goes beyond just the attractions. It goes beyond the Mickey bars and the Dole Whips. You really look forward to some of the entertainment.
What's the name of the old guy that opens the door at the Grand Floridian?
I have to look at a kid who has a better mind than I do. I can't remember.
Oh my gosh, how could you forget his name?
How
many of our family pictures is he in?
I don't know. But we're crossing Epcot off of the list of things to discuss, and you're going to stop asking me trivia questions.
Okay. If anybody knows the name of the gentleman who is the guy at Grand Floridian, please put it in the comments down below. He's also the gentleman who hands out chestnuts at Christmas.
Yes, he is.
Yes. His name, though, is not Chester.
It is not.
No.
No.
Okay. So, you have stayed at almost every Disney property.
I have, as of the month of August, stayed at every Disney property.
Disney World.
Disney World.
Yes.
Yes.
I have Disneyland, but you do not.
Do, yes.
Yes. That's why we balance each other out. I have the
It
West
is.
Coast and you have the East.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my list was easier to achieve.
It definitely was.
Yes.
It definitely was. But yes, I did get the opportunity to stay at Shades of Green earlier.
Which is the
in,
military
summer.
property.
It is a military-owned resort. It is not owned by Walt Disney World, and the resort itself, it's beautiful. It's stunningly landscaped. When you pull up to the gate, you pull up with flags lining the driveway as you pull in. The rooms are huge.
There's a few things to point out about it. The rooms are very large. They're meant for people. There are lots of Shades of Green specials for things like staying for 4 and 8 days. There's some ticket specials that you can pick up your tickets at the base exchange or at Shades of Green when you're there. There are some restrictions to watch out for on some of those tickets. And unfortunately, it's also a benefit that there are some people who try and work around with. So please comply with the tickets. It's a benefit for everybody to use. It's a shame that there are people who ask questions about, like, how do I buy these tickets and mail them out to my cousins who were never in the military? It's a military benefit. There are times each year where it comes up where they talk about canceling it.
Yeah, I mean, things like the military salute, it's never guaranteed. It does get renewed every year, or it comes up for renewal every year. There is no guarantee it will be renewed. Right now, the price on a 4-day ticket through the military salute or the armed forces salute it's an incredible deal. It's $179 for 4 days worth of park passes, and at $100 a day, that's a great deal.
Well, but even the nights at Shades of Green, that was the rate for the hotel stay was $95, $105, $125.
Yeah, to get back to Shades of Green, the whole purpose is to give members of the military and their families an affordable vacation at Walt Disney World. It is...
For the record here, she just wrote, "Shut up, you're rambling, Jim."
I did not.
6.
I did not. Stop keeping score. The rate at Shades of Green is based on your military ranking.
Or at the time, or your rank at the time that you retire.
The rank at the time you retire.
Or if you're
because
100% disabled,
Shades
your
of
rank
Green
is
is only, you have to be eligible. And in order to be eligible, you have to be a current active duty military member.
Retired.
A retired military member, or a 100% service-connected disabled member of the military.
Yes, and for all of those people who can take advantage of the property, it is a great thing.
It really is. And again, your rate is based on your ranking in the service. We paid a rate of $95 a night for a room that was easily equivalent in size to a room at the Grand Floridian. It had 2 very comfortable beds. We did a room service dinner one night that included steak and fried calamari and, a delicious pasta dish that was $60.
Now, it's kind of like staying on property and off property at the same time, because the monorail doesn't go to Shades of Green. Disney Transportation doesn't go to Shades of Green, but Shades of Green has its own transportation.
That's correct. Shades of Green has its own transportation. You do get the benefit of extra magic hours. You do not get...
That's extra magic hours in the morning and in the evening.
In the evening, you do not get magic bands when you stay at Shades of Green.
Now, if you buy your tickets, though, can you not call in and activate them and get your magic band?
You can purchase a magic band, but to get the Fast Pass Plus, you can hook your tickets up to your My Disney Experience online, and you can get your ticket information in there, and that allows you to book your Fast Pass Pluses before you get there.
That's the thing with the magic band for the getting into the park to get on the rides and stuff.
Yes, it is.
Which for some people is a pretty big thing.
It's a huge thing, and now with experiences like Anna and Elsa with a 2-hour wait unless you have a Fast Pass Plus, that's a pretty big thing. Fast Pass Plus, you can book priority seating for parades, priority seating for fireworks. In some cases, you can book a table in advance for lunch at Be Our Guest at the Magic Kingdom. So there are definite advantages to Fast Pass Plus, which previously military members had a more difficult time. You did not get your ticket medium until you actually got down there to Shades of Green, but now they will give you that information ahead of time.
There are some people who have issues with the magic bands and the Fast Pass booking ahead of time thing, because it does take your vacation and make it more structured. But as an example, for somebody in the military who going to Shades of Green is a benefit, and they've got to use up their military service time in between travel orders or deployments, it allows them to schedule to make sure they get their dependents and children to go see every ride they can.
Yes, it absolutely does. And I know you're not a fan of the magic bands.
My problem with it is the structure that it places upon you. But here's a scenario where for somebody in this situation, they really don't want to go to the trouble of, not the trouble, but you don't want them to go to what may be their once-in-a-lifetime family vacation at the Magic Kingdom, and suddenly they don't get to ride, 2 rides that their children really wanted to. At least this way they know going into it. And, that's one of those things. I mean, we have always told people for the longest time, you can't cram so much into going to the park each day, because your children don't live that way at home, and you can't expect them that way at the park. And there are people who want to be there at rope drop and want to be there when the fireworks are being cleaned up at the end of the night.
Well, and that's a good thing with Fast Pass Plus, because previously, if you were one of those people that like to sleep in a little bit in the morning and maybe come after a nice leisurely breakfast,
well, you didn't get no Fast Passes.
You weren't getting Fast Passes for things like Toy Story, some of the more popular attractions, the Fast Passes would be gone.
Because people like me would go to rope drop with the 12 people in our party, have all the tickets in my hand, and me and some kid behind the camera crew would bolt across the park to get in line. Well, we would politely sashay across the park, to get there, and we'd be sitting there at the ticket booth flipping in the tickets. But I mean, it's unfortunately that's kind of the competition to get on those rides.
Yeah, it was. So this definitely helps you to avoid some of that. It lets you sleep in a little bit.
Levels the playing field?
Kind of levels the playing field. You don't have to get up at the crack of dawn. You don't have to be there at rope drop. You don't have to be there early
but you should go to rope
magic
drop.
Hours. I always like going at rope drop, and I always feel like I get more accomplished in the first hour or 2 that we're there, if we get there that early, than I do the whole rest of the day.
You can go to rope drop at the Magic Kingdom and then go to breakfast over at the Contemporary.
You can, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's not like once you go in the park, you're stuck there and can't get out.
But again, Fast Pass Plus really helps facilitate that. It gives you the opportunity to say, all right, I'm not going to worry about racing here and there. I'll book my Fast Passes online. I know what times they are, so there's no reason to rush back to make sure I get a Fast Pass
Which
for the
you
next
couldn't have done
attraction.
before. You can't go to rope drop and then rush into the park and go up to, Space Mountain and say, I need a Fast Pass for 4 o'clock.
That's right.
You were stuck with whatever it spit out in the system,
correct.
that's what you had to get.
And we had experiences where by the time we got to the parks, we were getting Fast Passes for 7 or 8 in the evening, and we didn't really have the opportunity to stay that late in the evening, so they were Fast Passes we couldn't take advantage of.
Well, there are people on the old system who also got locked out of getting Fast Passes, because if you walked up to a machine and took a Fast Pass at 10 o'clock for a ride at 5 o'clock at night, you could
you were
not
done
get
for the
another
day.
fast pass.
Yeah, so there's definite advantages. I know when we went this past Christmas, we had someone with us who had not been to Walt Disney World in a very long time.
Well, he was used to the ABCD ticket system.
Yeah, well, but it was very frustrating for him to have things so structured because he was enjoying the opportunity to just walk around and admire things and look at things that he hadn't seen, things that he hadn't done. And I was constantly saying, no, we got to be here at 12. We got to be here at 2. Kind of rushing him through things.
Well, we never put him in a cart and said we got to rush and race on across the other end of the park. It was just, we're in the park. This ride's over. We have to go that way, and we have 20 minutes to get there. So start moving.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the reality of thousands of other people there doing the things at the park. If you're not, I mean, there are people who sell tour guide services and other events to get people through the parks.
Yeah.
All right, so something political and seasonal. It is the start of September, back to school season. And around us is hundreds of dollars worth of school supplies because our school district sent out a list that said you have to go buy the following things for your children. That's included such things as they must have Mickey Mouse notebooks.
Okay, well, that's not for the children. That's not for the books.
They must have non-Mickey Mouse notebooks.
Yeah, the children must have non-Mickey Mouse.
In various colors.
Multiple colors.
Yes. And they must have file folders in orange,
This is one kid's
black,
file folder.
purple,
This
blue,
one kid.
yellow, red, green. She has to have all those colors.
So here's my thing about school supplies. I don't mind buying the things that my children need. If they want a folder every color of the rainbow because it helps keep the kids organized, they know which folder is the science one, which one is the English one. Totally get it.
If the children want a Mickey Mouse folder, they get this one.
Well, that was required by their school. My school did not require those notebooks, but they needed notebooks in varying colors. Those particular composition notebooks, they needed in varying colors. I don't mind supplying them those things.
Okay, here's my problem though as a dad. This is red, and I'm not allowed to go buy my kid a cool whatever current rock band she likes folder.
That's correct.
Is that good or bad for the other parents in the school?
Well, I don't think it makes as much difference to the other parents as it does to the kids, but again...
Well, this is 29 cents.
It's 29 cents.
The one with the rock band folder on it was $3. So is this like school uniforms of school supplies?
I don't think it's meant to be a school uniform thing. I think it's really meant to be, everybody take out their red science folder. Everybody take out their blue math folder. Especially because this is for our one child that's still in elementary school. It's just an ease of organization for the teacher. She knows that if you have your blue notebook out and everybody else has their red one out, you might not be on the same page that the rest of us are on. But here again is my thing with school supplies. Yes, thank you very much. I went to school. This was never on a list.
I have big hands, but I do not use this in even a week.
Yeah, this was never on any back to school list that my mother had to fill for us. We never had to bring in cleaning products.
You weren't dirty as a kid?
Not that we weren't dirty, but we had soap and water at school. We have to now pack tissues and toilet paper and hand sanitizer and desk wipes to clean the desks off. I don't understand why this isn't supplied by the school. And here's what makes me even more aggravated.
The fact that our kid has to take in 144 rolls of toilet paper?
No, and they don't. But there are parents that are going to look at the list and say, why do I need to send 32 ounces of hand sanitizer? I'm going to send the little one and my kid's going to put it in their desk. That kid's going to run out of hand sanitizer and I now have to supply the hand sanitizer to those children.
Well, here's the problem with
Why
this.
isn't the school supplying the hand sanitizer?
Is this a way for them to subsidize a school tax increase?
How much of us, we're already spending almost $7,000 a year to live in a relatively small home, in this community. And you've pointed out that 50% of those taxes
50%
go
of our taxes
towards
go
the
to school
schools.
taxes, yeah.
That would pay for my children to go to a Catholic school in this area for the amount of money that my taxes are paying.
If we were on a voucher system, which is a topic for a later day.
Yes. But again, if I sent them to Catholic school, I think they should supply things like paper towels and toilet paper and tissues and sanitizer and desk cleaners.
So there's that aspect of it. The fact that we're already paying school budget, school taxes. Why doesn't that pay for this? Why don't our school taxes pay to stock the janitor's closet? The other part of this is, why are we providing school supplies for every child? But here's the flip side answer to that. Is it possible that during cold and flu season, enough kids in the class will get sick that they send every kid home and disinfect the school?
Well, it has happened. I mean, in our area, it has happened that a school has had to be closed because there is a virus going around, and they have top to bottom sanitized the entire classroom and every
They're
classroom
sending a
in the
janitor
school.
walking around, doing a very thorough job with the bleach in the bucket all over the place and
Yes.
trying to kill off the germ and whatever infections are floating around everywhere.
Yes.
And whether your kid is sick or not, your kid was home for 2 days of school.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the bad part for us was our kid was sick the week before. So our kid caught it early, got sick, was out for 2 days, goes back to school, and they get sent home the following week when they're better, along with every other kid now. So over a period of 2-3 weeks, our kids miss 4 days of school.
Yeah.
So does this prevent this? Is this the preventative for our kids coming home sick from school?
Okay, so my take on the hand sanitizer, working in the classroom for the last year, is it's just something else for kids to play with. I have seen little boys go to the hand sanitizer in my classroom and pump 12 pumps of it and watch it dribble down their arm and dribble down their other arm and drip into the trash can.
Is this the part of the video where I can pick my nose and blow some of my slims out?
Well, yeah, because we have 32 ounces of hand sanitizer right there.
It's
But the
covered.
point is, yeah, I'm supplying 32 ounces of hand sanitizer for someone else's child to do that with the hand sanitizer. Whereas if he had it in his own backpack or he was responsible to have it on his own and he wasted all that hand sanitizer, that's out of someone else's pocket. That's someone else's responsibility. Do I mind sending in 32 ounces because someone else might not have the money to send hand sanitizer for their child? I don't.
Well, then
And
is-
if you put it
then
that
is-
way, that's, it's a totally different story.
Then is the way this should have been written on the back to school list as these are optional back to school classroom supplies, help us stock up the classroom. Because these were not put on a different list, they were all on the same
It
list.
was all in the same mandatory, your kid needs this for school list.
Now, our youngest child also needs 160 pencils.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, our
How much
middle
is-
schooler needs 4 boxes of 20 pencils.
That would be 80.
It would be 80 pencils. I'm not saying a kid can't possibly go through 80 pencils over the course of the year, but I know, again, in the school where I work, I see teachers opening a new box of pencils every day, and they're sharpening the pencils and they're putting them in a community cup. So if your kid doesn't have a pencil because he left it at home or he lost it or because he sat in the back of the classroom
That's
and
the difference though
disassembled
between
it.
elementary school and college. Elementary school has bathroom break periods where you tell all the kids, pick up, haul them all down to the bathroom. Everybody goes, they have a chance to go, to minimize distractions to the rest of the classroom. All of those are reasonable things, such as the pencils. I mean, if the teacher constantly has to get interrupted while one kid walks up to go sharpen a pencil, instead of saying, everybody go sharpen 2 pencils. And then in the middle of the day where one kid runs out of a pencil and it breaks, the kid sitting there without a pencil, he's either not going to learn or he's just going to be a distraction for the other kids
But
around.
again, there are kids that are going to sit in that classroom,
That's a 6.5.
especially.
Count that as a
I
near
didn't
hit.
hit you.
I'm gonna count that as
It
a
was.
near hit.
It was an. It wasn't even close.
Collateral damage.
Close is that?
7.5.
Okay. The kid sitting in the classroom, in the back of the classroom, that spends the entire day breaking the points off of his pencil so that he can go up and get a new one. I've seen kids that take the little silver part off the back, and now they're back there creating all kinds of little creatures and animals with their erasers and the silver band around the eraser. I'm paying for these kids to do that with the 80 pencils that I have to send in or the 100 pencils that I have to send in for the other kid. It's not that it's 100 pencils and it costs me $100. It's the fact that I don't want to have to send extra pencils in with my kid for your kid to just do whatever he wants, to have a pencil collection in the back.
I happen to not have one handy, but I wanted to print up custom-made pencils that said, vote for Eilish Skamarakis for classroom president.
Well, and again, we ended up last year having to buy personalized pencils for Granuel that were different from the other kids' pencils because they were taking pencils out of her desk. The kids in the class were stealing her pencils. I don't know why, because last year I sent in 100 pencils. There should have been more than ample pencils. If every kid in that classroom brought 100 pencils...
We're not really labeling this grand theft pencil, though. It's just...
Not grand theft pencil, but I spent way less money investing in the personalized pencils because I knew she had them the rest of the year.
Well, that's why, back to the Magic Kingdom at Epcot, they sell these pencils that are like this tall with a big Mickey Mouse thing up at the top.
That you can't sharpen because they don't fit in any pencil sharpener.
Well, you just reach under your leg and pull out your buck knife and
Okay.
can't do that
We're
at
done
school.
with school supplies.
Okay.
There's no buck knife in this classroom.
No, okay. Camera crew's laughing in the back if you hear that noise, that what that sound.
Obscene phone callers, and we don't have a phone.
Yeah.
This is not a called-in show.
Whatever. Yeah. So, this is also the start of the Disney Parks Moms Panel selection
It's the most
process.
wonderful time of the year, I've been told, yes.
You've been told.
I've been told, yes.
Hand me back that Mickey book. It's oversaturating you on your side there.
Yes, tomorrow, September the 2nd, beginning at 10 a.m., you can apply for the Disney Parks Moms Panel.
We started filming this on Sunday, but you're going to see this on YouTube on Monday.
Yes.
So technically it is tomorrow. But whether you see it
But
tomorrow
September
or later.
the 2nd is the date.
September the 2nd.
Beginning at 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time.
Magic Kingdom time.
Magic Kingdom time. Florida Magic Kingdom time.
Do they call it Magic Kingdom time or Florida time?
Well, it's East Coast time.
It's East Coast time.
Yeah. So you can begin submitting your application tomorrow at 10 o'clock. They are accepting applications until Friday, September the 5th at noon. So you only have a very small window to get your application in.
Now, this does not mean that you have to produce a video. This is just the first part of the application.
This is the first round.
So you
don't
have
need
the
to
questions and
submit-
you've seen them.
I have not seen, no one, it's hermetically sealed in a Disney vault somewhere. No one will know what the questions are until tomorrow.
Okay. So we don't know if there's a video due tomorrow, but we can assume based on past.
Okay, that's a good point. Because we don't know from year to year what the questions will be, what the rounds will be like, how
Have
it will
they
be
changed?
structured. They have changed over the course of the last couple of years. Either more questions, less questions. The questions vary. Historically speaking, there has not been a video due in round one. I don't know whether there will be this time or not. I think
a lot of videos to go through.
it is a lot of videos to go through. There will be thousands of applicants for very few positions. I think the big thing to remember for at least the round one submissions, to make sure that you get noticed for good things, double check your spelling, double check your punctuation, be familiar with a dictionary, know where the commas go.
Now, what this means is, unlike my previous submission, which I wrote in crayon, and I spelled the letter R backwards because I thought that was cute, I also tilted everything on the paper when I submitted it. You don't recommend that strategy?
Well, first of all, it has to be done online. So
I scanned it in.
yeah, the application is done online, and definitely not probably the time to be cutesy and, use misspellings and, liberal use of onomatopoeia or anything like that. That's a really big word. You probably don't know what
Should
that
I be
means.
using colons and semicolons?
If it's appropriate to your sentence structure, then absolutely use colons and semicolons.
So if I wanted to practice for this, what I should be doing really is watching Schoolhouse Rock tonight.
Absolutely brush up on your Schoolhouse
Conjunction,
Rock.
junction, what's
Conjunction,
that?
junction. Yes.
Know the difference between then and then, there and there?
There, and there, two, and two. Know what goes where, when you use things.
How to conjugate the word be?
It 23 different ways.
Yeah. It's a verb.
It is. If you could conjugate the verb be, that might give you a leg up. There's really no magic formula. There's no tip that I can give anybody that's considering this.
Now,
to
what
get
if
them a
I'm
spot.
fluent in Spanish, such as myself, if you've seen my Spanish videos?
Oh, good Lord.
Should I do half of it in English or Spanish?
No, you want to answer it in English.
Should I note that I'm fluent in Spanish in there somewhere?
It might help. It might help if you speak a foreign language and you can somehow work that into the answers to the questions, which again, no one knows. Then definitely let them know that you have this extra talent.
But I am limited to how much space or words I can submit?
Usually you are limited to 100 words in your answer.
Wow, that requires you to think it
I'm
out.
sorry.
1,000?
No, 100 is right. 100 is right.
10.5.
That was a tap.
11.5.
That was a pat.
Oh, we're counting all of them.
That was a pat.
Okay, 12.5.
That's a smack.
13.5. There you go. And today's caller.
Hello? It is for a substitute teaching job
Are
already.
you interested in the job for tomorrow?
I have a job for tomorrow.
You do?
I do.
Wow. Staying home and taking care of me.
No, I start my new job tomorrow.
Oh.
There will be no taking care of you
I'm on my own?
all day long.
Am I allowed to be alone in this house?
You'll have kids tomorrow. They don't start school till Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Kids will take care of me.
And cats and dogs.
Okay. And plants.
And yes,
Yes.
plants to take care of.
Yes. Along with a cornfield outside to take care of.
Yes.
A garden out back that has to get wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about the Moms Panel.
We are talking about the Disney Parks Mom Panel.
So the questions open on 9/2 at noon.
No, at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have until 9/5 at noon.
At noon.
Is there any benefit to me submitting my questions, answers right away?
There really isn't. And I have to tell people, if you're on the ball, you've got those questions answered, you are one of the first people that gets your answers in. It's kind of like you tell kids going to school. If you're the first one done your test and you still have 30 minutes to go in the testing period, just go back over it, check your spelling, check your punctuation, make sure it's all correct.
Well, here's the technical way that we've always told people how to do this on anything that you submit online. Go into Microsoft Word or go into Google Docs. If you don't have Word, go to Google Docs, that's free. Type out all your answers. Do your revisions, do your editing, do your spell checking, check for grammar, save it. And then if you have time before your submissions due, come back and write it again and then see which revision you like better. Don't even edit it, just write it over again from scratch and then compare which one sounds better to you. And then when you do your submission, you know that what you're typing in is the most accurate answer you can have.
Absolutely.
The other reason to save your work is in case there's a hiccup on the computer screen. You don't want to have your browser crash or your Wi-Fi connection went down and you lose your results, which is another thing. If you could submit your answer an hour before it opens, that might be a good thing, but you don't have to. Take the time to do your answers. But you absolutely don't want to submit your answers an hour before it closes.
Well, you can't do it an hour before it opens.
No, an hour before it closes.
No, you said an hour before
Okay,
it
well,
opens.
an hour
That's
after it
not an
opens.
option.
Okay.
Yes, an hour after.
An hour after
You
it
could
opens.
do that.
But you don't want to submit it at the last minute.
I would try not to do it at the last minute. There is a limit to the number of applications they accept.
Oh, so there have been previous year's limits.
There have been
So we
limits
don't
in
know what the
previous
limit
years.
is this year.
Absolutely, we don't.
If you've been tuning in this far through all of this to get all the final tips and everything,
yeah, there could be a cap to the number of applications, so you don't want to wait till the last minute and be disappointed and find out that the
the
program
quote is
has
full.
closed.
Yes. So there is, in that point, some desire to want to get the answer in as soon as possible, but you want it to be your best answer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So now, tomorrow, on September 2nd, at 10 a.m., when this opens, Eastern Time, Magic Kingdom clock time.
Magic Kingdom time.
A few hours after that, there's going to be a flood of discussions on places like the Diz boards or other discussions. Are we going to have a special show tomorrow where we can sit here and read people's submissions and compare them?
We are definitely not.
Not.
We are not.
Should
going
I
to do
take
that.
my answers that I submit and go to the Diz boards and dump them out there to share with the public?
You should not.
Should not.
You should not apply.
Me or these people?
You.
Me, okay.
You.
But if,
You particularly
Okay.
should not apply.
okay. But those people, should those people go to the Diz boards and post their answers? Should they help the competition?
I go back and forth on that. If you feel like it really doesn't matter, and I think for me, it really wouldn't matter if someone saw my answers, but those are your answers, and the person that's reading them or the people that are reading them are going to have to go through literally thousands of these applications. They don't want to see the same, my favorite park is such and such because of blah, blah, blah. They don't want the same answer rehashed over and over
Well, here's
again.
the problem, though. You may have written the best essay answer to this question, but when it gets submitted, the person that plagiarized your work may have been read first.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's
So
possible.
you, as the original creator of this momentous masterpiece, gets read second, and now you look like the copy.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's another thing. If somebody is still on the fence about whether or not they're going to apply, and they wait until you post what the actual questions are before they make their decision, it kind of gives them an unfair advantage. They know ahead of time what the questions are going in. they've had time to really consider whether or not this is something they want to do or they don't want to do. And, you know, I think I'd rather just keep it to myself. I know there are people that freely submit, you know, their videos and their answers and share the questions with
Well, I
other
have people submit their videos after the video deadline.
Yes.
Because at that point, it's in the can. I mean, you're done. It's whatever happens, happens.
But there are people that share their videos online as soon as they submit them.
I have seen in previous years people do things like join the second round club. They announce that they made the second round or second wave.
Yeah, and there's a couple places online. There's a Facebook group for people that are applying this year. There's a group on Disboards. There are places where you can go online. I think the term that I like most is waiting room. It's kind of like where you're all sitting there together, and you know it's a phenomenal support group.
We can neither confirm nor deny, though, that two of the questions that you'll be asked starting tomorrow are, what is the name of the gentleman at the Grand Floridian who serves chestnuts?
Yeah,
or the first day of Epcot.
Let's hope those are not questions that anybody will have to answer.
Well, are the questions more trivia based, or are they more historically been?
You know, it's changed over the years. I think the questions are a little more fun in the last round or two.
Not the trivia is not fun.
No, and some of it was trivia. There have been questions in the past that are a little bit. They've caused controversy because people didn't really know if they gave the right answer or if it was really just an opinion piece. You know, like, do you prefer who's its or what's its or gadgets and gizmos? You know, that's kind of a personal thing.
Is that a real question?
I'm not saying whether it was or it wasn't, but yeah, I mean, there are opportunities in the past, or there have been opportunities in the past for you to show that you know a little bit of Disney trivia. I think more than whether or not you know trivia, it's more important that you show that you know Walt Disney World, you have a passion, or the Disney Cruise Line, or Run Disney, whatever your specialty is, that you have a passion for it, and that you have a really good knowledge. Adventures by Disney.
Yeah, or the DVC.
Or DVC. Yeah. Whatever your passion is, you want to make sure that it shows in your application.
So this is a big deal. There's been one year, tens of thousands of people, thousands of people.
Oh, over the course of the years, yeah, thousands of people have applied for these positions, and you know we have just over 100 moms that have worked on and off of the Moms Panel since its inception in 2008.
By the way, we use the word moms in the Moms Panel, but you are not required to be a mom or a woman.
You are not. There are dads. As a matter of fact, if you see the pictures behind me, those were taken by one of our Disney dads, Mark Lorenzo. But yeah, there are dads, there are grandparents.
Is he a dad also, or is he a guy?
He is a dad also in real life, and he is also a Disney Parks dad.
Now, the color shirts you get are pink?
That varies. The year that I started on the Moms Panel, pink was the color. Last year, they got really cool black bowling kind of shirts.
Now, when you got pink, did the dads get pink also, or did they get blue?
The dads got blue. It's
kind of a shame. If they would have fit in better with the pink, it would have been part of the whole.
And you know, over the years, all of the dads that I have spoken to would have worn the pink with honor. But I think last year's blue or black golf shirts.
Is there a way to get past that?
They were very nice, the shirts.
Yeah, because if you're in a group of a whole bunch of the Moms Panel moms, it's, you're the Moms Panel.
Yeah.
So, is it worth applying to the panel for anybody?
I think it's absolutely worth it. I've so enjoyed my time on the Moms Panel. I've enjoyed the people that I've met, and not just the people that are members of the Disney Parks Moms Panel. I've met so many really great friends being in the Disney community in this way. So I think it's an absolutely phenomenal opportunity.
Is there anybody that shouldn't apply?
You know, I hate to tell anybody that they shouldn't apply.
Was there anybody that this isn't the right fit for them, let's say?
I think
how much time commitment is it?
You know, and that varies too. There have been questions that I've taken several hours to answer to make sure that I had done all of my research. And there were times where I could answer all of my necessary questions in a matter of, 2 or 3 hours over the course of a weekend. But I think you do have to have some block of time that you can commit to this. I think that you definitely have to have a passion for Disney. If Disney is your occasional vacation destination and, you know, you've heard great things about the panel and, you know, the people on it and the rewards that you get is for being a member, if that's your motivation, this might not be your gig. But I definitely think that it's one of the best experiences I've ever had since marrying you and having 3 children.
Okay. I want to make sure you put it in the right scale there.
Made sure my priorities were in order.
Well, that child. And then the others.
Richard. That's right. Richard. The gentleman at the Grand Floridian. His name is Richard. It only took 3 people and 30 minutes.
Well, now nobody can put it in the comments section. You want me to edit that part out now? I mean, somebody may have already put it in the comments. And
Somebody may
showed up
have.
here.
They may have, yes.
Okay, so is that everything on our agenda
That's
for
the
today?
whole agenda.
Okay.
I feel like I'm on Saturday Night Live.
So this format is, as Anna has described it previously, schizophrenic. She's not comfortable doing her own video blog by herself, and I have a long list of political rantings and ravings to discuss.
That's why we discussed Disney.
Yes, so we figured there's a good way to balance these. So we'll take her travel-related stuff and vacation and family-related stuff, and then we'll fit some political topics in here. You know, can you think of any political topics that we could be discussing at future dates?
I cannot think of any that I would want to discuss with you in public.
In public?
Yes.
First Amendment?
Not going there.
Second Amendment?
Not tackling it.
Fourth and Fifth?
You've only got this one arm open to me, and you might need it for other things.
We could switch chairs. I'm right-handed anyway, so this is fine.
So we'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
See where the bruises land.
I could think of a lot of travel topics
It's
for us
time
talk
to wrap
about.
up, so just wrap up.
All right, so this is Sunday, now being shown on Monday, and our next show will be next week, next Sunday. It'll come out sometime after Sunday when we film it, because we can't release it before then. But, so just to confirm here, are we doing a special to sneak out the questions and everything, or we're not?
We are not
We're
doing
not.
a special.
Okay, now what if somebody wants to contact you directly to share their questions with you, and they say, Anna, please proofread my answer?
I have gone over people's applications with them and just checked for grammar and punctuation and things like that. More than happy to do that.
But here's something to keep in mind. This is also first week of back to school.
It is.
It's first week of you going back to school as a teacher.
It is.
And it's also first week of you back to school and graduate school.
Yes, it is.
So there's a lot of things going on.
There are things
Okay,
going on.
so is now the time for me as a total stranger to come out and add you on Facebook and then become your best friend on Facebook and have you do my essays for me?
You are welcome to add me on Facebook and on Twitter. I will not do the essays for you. I will not comment on your essay submissions. If you need help with grammar and spelling, totally do that with you.
Okay. Now what about the camera girl? Is she available for hire? Is this a Fiverr thing we got going on?
No, she's not available. She's got her own homework to do.
Okay. So should I pay somebody, like on Fiverr? Should I, like if one of our children decided after this to go on Fiverr and say,
If grammar and spelling are just totally not your thing, I mean absolutely not your thing, this may not be your gig. I mean, I can go over the grammar and spelling in your application, but you will, if you get on the panel at some point, have to answer questions on your own.
and is spelling necessary then?
Spelling and grammar will be very important to those answers. So
So what you're saying?
if you need to hire somebody to do these essay submissions for you, this may not be your gig.
It's a good point.
It is a good point.
Because that's really what the Mom's Panel turns
All my
into when you're
points
on
are
it.
good points.
Is you're doing a lot of typing.
You do a lot of typing. You answer a lot of guest questions, and you have to answer them, with some effort in terms of grammar.
And there is a
spelling
limit
and
on how many
punctuation.
words.
There is a limit to the number of words that you can use.
So you have to be able to be accurate, concise, and brief.
Absolutely.
Which is why I'm not on the panel. 'Cause I ramble.
We've closed the show now for the 10 minutes that you've been rambling.
We haven't been timing this. We're doing good.
Oh, okay.
Don't make me break out the butterdish. 'Cause
Because we only have half.
there's a bad story behind that.
There is. Involves cats.
Okay, so you'll notice our backdrop behind us on Face the Kingdom. The title may change. We don't know. We're still working on
It's a
it.
work in progress.
Yeah. The backdrop will change because that's an herb garden in process. That has to
Could
grow.
you tie this up?
We have. We're waiting for the camera girl to shut us off. Thank you. Go ahead. Are you going to close this out or keep talking?
No, you're done talking.
Well, then close us out.
You're finished talking. If you have sat with us through this last, I don't even know how long because my timer shut off already.
2 hours and 86
2
minutes.
hours and 86 minutes. Thank you for being with us, and we hope that you will join us next time.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah,
For
face the
Beauty
camera.
Girls Mom
And Left Wing Libertarian.